Some people are waiting for Dune 3. Some people are holding out hope for Kill Bill 3. Not me though. I've just been waiting for this sweet baby to finally arrive in cinemas. A extremely limited release in my country, in my little area. 3 of the chains just weren't showing it. But not my good buddy Village. It was like, no, you'll have to drive 45 minutes to go see it in a horrible little cinema. And I said, I will do anything to see the end of this bloated, unnecessary trilogy. I want to see how boring this conclusion is. But lo and behold, something truly unbelievable happened. I could not, and I am not saying this in a hyperbolic sense. This film is so fucking unhinged. It is so unexpected. It is so crazy, unearned, and incomprehensible. The character motivations, the plot decisions, the things that I was seeing on screen, genuinely couldn't believe it. Genuinely left me shocked. I was sad that there was like a scattering of people, like maybe 10 people in my screening, because if I was the only one in the cinema, I would have stood up at least 4 times and just simply said, what the fuck is actually happening? Are you fucking kidding me? Are we really doing this? And then the film would present a scene in which it was saying back to me, yeah, the fuck we are. Move over, Lord of the Rings, because we have a new greatest trilogy of all time. And I am obviously kidding, but at the same time, I had fun. Do not get me wrong, this is a terrible, fucking awful, atrociously, it's no good, it's a bad film. I had a fucking blast watching it. Let's discuss. Hey guys, I'm Jax, and this is my spoiler-free review, but also I'm going to do a massive spoiler review / spoiler rant, because I really just want to break down all of the things that happen in this movie, because they are genuinely unbelievable. The direction, the absolute out of left field swing and a miss this film takes in a completely random direction that then ends the film in a way where I was like, I cannot believe this was what you wanted to tell in this story. You spent 6 hours building up to this incomprehensible, like just, I cannot fathom how did this even happen? I just really hope more directors trick studios into letting them film all 3 films at once, because anyone with any sense of how to spend their money just wouldn't have made this 3rd movie. And so it's kind of like exciting and amazing that we got this fully formed idea. Because if he never made this 3rd one, he could always go, oh, I mean, everyone thought the first 2 were some of the worst films I've ever seen and incredibly generic and cliche and uninspired and lazy. I just remade the first movie, but worse. And then I just had an extended chase scene in which literally nothing happened. But imagine a chase scene with no sense of tension or suspense, and you don't care about the character. Also, you know a 3rd one's coming, so you know she can't die. So it's stakesless. But, if I'd made my 3rd one, you can't even comprehend. It was all going to tie together. But now we have seen this fully formed, like, vision. And it's so fucking shit. It's just so bad. It's so stupid. And it's filled with all the worst things in horror. Every single character, their motivations is incomprehensible, incoherent, borderline ununderstandable. I've said the same word just 3 different ways. It just makes no sense. It's really fucking dumb and stupid. Every single character, every single decision, every single person makes. I couldn't believe what I was watching. I genuinely was just like, what is happening? How could this be a film? How could they have actually made this? And it's like, they didn't make this kind of on a whim. Like, this isn't a first film where you go, man, he was really just having a go. And it's all over the place, but what are you going to do? This is his 3rd attempt. This is like a trilogy of films. And I know it barely feels like even one film, but it's like you compare to actual trilogies where so much happens. And yet, in this, so little happens. But at least in this film, in its defense, some stuff happens. Most specifically, one thing happens, which I'll have to say for spoilers, because if you want to go in blind, literally everything I'm saying, you couldn't even fathom what direction it's going to go. And when it starts to happen, you're still going to be like, bloody cunt. It can't keep going in this direction. This is going to be a misdirect. Some kind of red herring. It's not. So I guess briefly talking about some spoiler-free things before I just lose my freaking mind. Honestly, I've never been more excited to talk spoilers. As soon as it was happening, I'm like, I'm like feverish. Like I'm like sweating. I felt like I was watching something quite special. It did remind me, funnily enough, of Doom 2 recently, where I was like, I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, I couldn't believe the visuals on screen. This is the same, but for like just the opposite reason. All right, bring it back down a bit. Bring it down. I'm getting too excited. Yeah, really, really funny. I love when a movie is so bad that it's kind of fun. And it could potentially come across as a little cruel, how much enjoyment I'm getting. But honestly, my biggest issue with Strangers Chapter 1 and 2 was just how bored I was. Like, I didn't really feel anything. Like, it just really, like, it had, and we'll get to the same flashback kind of issues, same prequel type issues. But one was just like, I feel like I've seen this movie but better, which I had. And the second one was just like, it's just boring. It's lifeless. It has no, like, energy or, like, it just doesn't have flavor to it. The only scene with flavor was a scene ripped out of The Revenant because it was just so crazy batshit. That energy of like, why is this in the movie? Why did you decide to put a bear sequence, but it's a boar this time? Like, why? That energy, just for the whole of this movie. Oh, it's really exciting stuff. I just love a film that's like he took a big swing and like, you've got to respect a man for taking a big swing. Doesn't matter if you strike out. Because, if he'd hit, if this had somehow tied together, it could be incredible. It's just like everything's so unearned. You didn't set up anything in 1 and 2 for what you're trying to do in this one. So it's like, why did you do this? Like, you clearly didn't feel like you wanted to do it in 1 and 2. Why is it suddenly like this is the trilogy? Alright, I gotta bring it down a little. Okay, so, things that it definitely doesn't do that you might expect maybe it could do. Gore. So this is a slasher film, even if the plot's shitty and incoherent and boring and lazy, even if the characters are like, who cares, just whatever, cannon fodder, even if the villains are, you don't really care, or they're not scary, there's like, all of those things potentially sometimes don't matter if the kills in a movie where the set pieces are big, violent, horrible kills. There's a bit of joy and glee that you can get from that if they're really creative, really interesting, really perverse or weird. Like, there's lots of different avenues kills in these type of movies can go. Or it can be the same kill, like 12 different times, with no blood. There's one scene pretty early on where it's really gory, and you see the axe just go in and out, and it's like, okay. I remember them being very ungory, like that being a big sticking point where I'm like, they're not even gory. Like, it almost feels PG. This one has that one scene almost as a reaction. And like, I wonder if they put that in, like that was like a reshoot or something, because then the rest of the film, it just cuts away. Or it's like a wide shot where you don't really see, and it's just the big scarecrow guy just whacking people with an axe. Every single time. It's just the same kill again and again and again and again. And there's a couple of other ones I can't discuss for spoilers that are like kind of different, but generally it's just that. And they are so uninspired and uninteresting and not gory or bloody at all. And so in the film, they don't have any impact. Like, there's an impact, but there's no impact. You know what I mean? Except, and this definitely happened in the edit because there's no feeling to them. For some reason, well, I know the reason, because they want to create a fake sense of impact. The soundtrack, the score, the musical editing, is just cranked up to like 25. Like, imagine everything's got to be at like a 10. I don't know why these numbers are picked. Everything's at a 10. They've cranked it up to a 25. It is bombastically loud. It's unbearably loud. Like, it's so fucking obnoxiously loud, which I feel like me saying obnoxiously loud is like, I'm really asking for it when I say something like that. It just comes across as this really cheap, lazy trick because I'm sitting in a cinema, there's a giant screen, the score is really big and bombastic, but it's just like, and there's this squelching, chunky, it's so loud. Every single time I had a visceral reaction, just like, ugh, because it was just so loud. Every time like a window was smashed, every time there's a gunshot, every time there was like an unearned, cheap, lazy jump scare where suddenly just someone was standing behind them out of nowhere and the music just goes Brah! So fucking loud. It was so distracting, and it was so clearly there because nothing else was there emotionally. So they had to do something to manipulate your emotions. And I found that so infuriating. I found that like egregious. Like there's a lot of things in this film that I find really, really funny how stupid it is. That one really pissed me off because mostly it made me quite worried for my ears. And I suddenly realized how old I am. And I'm just like, is this even loud? Like I'm looking around and I don't feel like anyone else is going, ugh, every time the music did that. And I wondered, am I just getting really old? Do I need to go to like an ear doctor? Are they separate to doctors? Like how teeth have separate doctors, like teeth doctors, the dentist? Are there ear dentists? And I started spiraling and I realized how very old I am and that I just don't like go to doctors very often because I'm just afraid I'll go there and they'll be like, oh, you're going to die like tomorrow. And I just feel like maybe I wouldn't die tomorrow if I hadn't gone to the doctor for my ears. So yeah, the music's so loud. So once again, this film fundamentally misunderstands the central core of why the original The Strangers worked, like why it was so chilling and so haunting. And it doubles down in this film from 2's mistake of over-explaining the backstory and doing classic prequel-lighter stuff of just revealing everything. And it completely demystifies all the interesting, just horrible unknown fear. Like that fear of the unknown of that first movie is so real, like it's upsetting, like it's genuinely chilling. And in this, it's just so unthreatening, unscary, and worst of all, uninteresting. At least if it was going to explain and over-explain all this stuff, it might be kind of fascinating, kind of interesting. It comes across as really goofy and silly, absurd at times, really cringy at another time. We get some teen sequences that are somehow worse than the kid sequences in 2 and the kids in this. It's just so much. It's so over-explained in some really embarrassing ways. The revelation of what is and isn't happening with the whole town as well, they go into that. It's so strange. It doesn't actually make sense. It kind of raises more questions, and if it's kind of answering the questions in the way that I think it is, really bad. Really, really, really bad. Makes everything seem stupid and illogical in a really baffling way. Kind of fun, though. But, yeah, I mean, I feel like... I'm looking at the time. I've talked for far too long. This movie is really, really, real bad. It's really fucking shit. If you loved 1 and 2, you'll probably dislike this one, I'd imagine, because it's so off the rails, unhinged chaos, and it's so unearned and stupid, and it doesn't really build up from what you'd think from 1 and 2. Like, if you just kind of wanted more chasing and then a conclusion, this is not that film. It's so not that film. In a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me of Halloween Ends, in which it's just this unhinged, chaotic nightmare that doesn't really make sense compared to 1 and 2, but it features some of the characters or whatever. But I kind of had more fun with this because I don't care at all. Watching them as children and then as teens and then as young adults just do the Strangers movie but for like 3 minutes, it's really not interesting to me. It comes across as like really embarrassing. There's so many moments where it's just like, I'm getting pretty fucking sick of the scene where someone's like, is Tamara here? Knock, knock, knock. Is Tamara here? Is Tamara here? I reckon we get the is Tamara here scene 4 times in this movie. Not once, not twice, not thrice, 4 times. Just like, that's too many times. That's too many times. In conclusion, this is easily the best of the trilogy, but saying this is the best of anything, yeah, that doesn't sound or feel right. So yeah, it's the least worst one. But I also think a lot of people will disagree with me because I am kind of looking at it in a I'm laughing at the film way, and that brought me enjoyment. If you kind of like the first 2 and were hoping this would kind of fix and redeem everything, this will really piss you off, I think. I think you'll actually not find it funny how bad it is and the choices they make and the decisions they go. I think you'll find that really frustrating, and like this will probably be the worst one. Because like, I don't know, at least 2's got the ball. A compliment I never thought I would give to. After this film answered all of the questions that we didn't want answered, there is only one question left to ask. Which iconic horror film should next get the bloated trilogy treatment? My answer? All of them. But like, genuinely, I would love to know like what other movie you would kind of want to see this treatment done to, provided the proviso of this question, of course, is that it is bloated, unnecessary, and absolutely terrible. Like, what one iconic film would you just love to see them completely botch? I'd generally love to know in the comments. That is enough preamble. Let us get to the juicy stuff. Time to get our river song on, because it's spoiler time, baby. Okay, so, big spoiler number 1. The movie opens, it actually opens with a Psycho ripoff. The Strangers, it's a flashback and they do a big Psycho ripoff, and it's just like, why? Why have they done this? I guess they had finished ripping off The Revenant and now they're like, let's do a big Psycho. Sure, I don't know. That's the start. But then it cuts to not Liv Tyler, and she's watching the end of the second movie, and Big Scarecrow Man cuts up the body, his love. He just smashes her with an axe. We find out not why. We have no more information on why he did that. Completely irrelevant, completely pointless. I at first was like, okay, so he's going to do that. And like throughout other things in the film, I was like, are we setting up for him to frame her? Because he gives her a tattoo at one point. Spoilers. We're in spoiler time. But no, he just smashes the body, puts it in the car, drives off. And then she's running through the forest and she gets into this church and she's sitting in the church. And then boom! Guy from the second movie, who was like, the whole movie it was building up to like, it's this guy. It's definitely this guy. This guy is 100% Scarecrow. But then I must be misremembering, but I remembered that it was revealed that it wasn't him. Because like the whole point of that movie was essentially like, what if it's this guy? The only guy it could be. And then it was like, it's not him. Wasn't that a crazy misdirect? He was so sus, but it's not him. Turns out it was him. It was him. The one character that we pretended it was not going to be by how obvious it was him. It's him! And he just sits there in a church and they have a face-to-face. He pours a shot of vodka or whatever for her. I think it was whiskey, actually. And they both have a drink and he's like, you killed my love. And she's like, you killed my love. And he's like, well, I guess we're even now. The scene is crazy. I don't understand what it's doing in the film. Knowing where it ends up, I kind of get that they're trying to create some kind of bond between these characters, some kind of relationship that's just not there. It's a really strange scene, and it just puts the film off to this really weird axis where you're like, I don't understand. Does he not want to kill her? Like, she's right there. He could just, like, kill her. But he's like, don't worry. There's no masks here, baby. And it's like, are you a different person without the mask on? Like, what's going on? Like, why are you just killing her? Like, what is this? I guess he's playing with his food. So then she runs away, meets the cop, or maybe that happened before, and then he's just like, I'm incredibly suspect. Don't worry, that's not going to come back into play. Spoilers, it does. He's the Scarecrow's dad. Shock, twist. Oh my god, the cop, that guy from that movie that you've seen, where every single scene he was in the first movie, you're like, he's got to play a bigger role next time, right? Why'd they get that guy? Yeah, so he's the dad, and he's just cool with it all. And apparently, so are all the cops. And the whole town. Maybe? It's kind of vague. Everyone knows what's going on. Everyone knows who's involved. They're all just letting it slide. Are they all psychopaths? Is it some kind of cult of strangers? No. They're just like totally fine with these two psychopaths running about town killing people. Sorry, it's 3, but 1 dies, so 2's in my mind. But I digress. We go back. So she like meets the cop guy and he's like, I'm actually like definitely not sus. She then says, hey, can you like get something out of your boot or whatever? I don't know. For whatever reason, they're both in the cop car and he's like, I'll get something out of my boot. He's walking up to the boot. He does the biggest circle like from the driver's seat around the boot in the way where you're like, oh, so like from just the way it's shot, she'll jump into the front seat and drive off because otherwise he'd be closer to the boot. just when something's filmed in a way where you're like, you've just telegraphed it too much. It's terrible. So she jumps across into the other seat and she drives away. Why did he leave his keys in his cop car if he's the dad of the person hunting her? It's unclear. His motivations throughout this film, very unclear. At times in flashbacks, he's like, I will do anything for my children. I will literally let them murder people for decades. But in this film, in this time period, for no discernible reason, he's like, maybe I'm just sick of it. Maybe I want my son to be captured. Maybe I want to be killed. Maybe I want this all to fall apart. But then he'll do other things which contradict that entirely. And it's crazy. It's just nonsense. Okay, and so she's driving the car, then she's like doing something, dangerous on the ground. You know how when you're driving, you've got to like look at the road? And you know how in movies that are stupid and dumb, people just like stop looking at the road and do something really dangerous, like down on the ground, like by their feet. She's doing that. Obviously a car comes up. She crashes the cop car instantaneously. I know it's been like a rough couple of days for her, but just, come on man, pull it together. You were so lucky to get this cop car. Why did he leave the keys in there? Maybe because his son is gonna crash into her and it's a ploy to capture her, because Scarecrow man, oh my god, he captured her. He was the one driving the car. He's crashed the cop car. He grabs her, puts her in the boot. She's been kidnapped. Why he didn't do it in the church? I guess he just really wanted to fuck up his dad's cop car. It's just crazy. All of these things are just like, man, it's real lucky that any of this happened and that it all works together for them. But hey, I guess they've had decades of killing people. They've had lots of practice. They're really good at it or something, even though they're so lucky it goes their way so many times. But this is where the film diverges. The film completely loses its mind. It kind of decides, and this is the big spoiler, that not Liv Tyler... The plot of this movie is that she's going to be captured by Scarecrow and the other doll lady, and they're going to try and convert her to be the second doll face lady. Yeah, they want her to be one of the strangers. And so, like, at first it starts with him, like, putting on her mask and, like, kissing her, like, mask to mask. And she's like, oh, I'm revolted. That's disgusting. I would never. And you're like, yeah, of course not. Because that's, what the fuck? That's so strange and weird. That's probably not, like, a setup for, like, a plot of, like, an arc of the story. That's not what the movie's going to be about. Just a weird little serial killer thing. No. No, that's what this movie is. Okay, so there's a subplot with her sister and sister's husband and their bodyguard guy who drives them around, and that takes place throughout the film as well. At first it kind of feels like we're gonna do like a Psycho, where literally she's kidnapped and like they're the main characters, similar to Psycho, but imagine if she'd not been killed in Psycho or whatever. And it's kind of just funny because it's like, well, you did the Psycho thing at the start, now we're doing this. It's just this really lazy version of these things, but really, really badly done. But all of that stuff is just really terrible. The characters are really boring. The actors, they're not great, unfortunately. All of it just really, really dumb and boring and nonsense. I won't explain any of that. Spoilers, they all die, but you don't care at all. Okay, so now we're going to get to the really juicy stuff. We have Dollface number 1, Dollface number 2, aka Liv Tyler, but not Liv Tyler 2.0, and we have Scarecrow Man. And they go to do a kill. There's like the 3 of them in a car, and it's like she's tied up and stuff, but she's got the mask on, and she's like gonna have to watch them do a kill. So they go to a hotel, motel kind of room thing, they bust it open, there's 2 people there, they tie them up, all that stuff. And it's classic strangers, you get the classic stranger shot, there's all 3 of them, the 2 people are tied up, it's a lady and a man, and it's like, oh my god, it's the thing from the first movie, but now she's one of the strangers. But she's tied up, so like she can't like do anything. Okay, I get it, they're gonna like force her to watch and be a part of it. But then, and this is the moment where I was like, what are we doing here? How is this what you're doing? So Scarecrow Man cuts down the guy and he's banging on him, but you can't see any blood or anything. He's just swinging away with the corner of the screen. He's already severed the rope for Liv Tyler 2.0 to free her up because he wants her to be a part of it. But she's like, I won't do it. And he's like, axe, you'll kill. And she's like, what the fuck? Why would I do that? I'm not going to kill this person for you. And he's like, aw, that's not fun. So he does the killing, and then she's just standing there, untied, and she just like looks around, and she looks at him, and he's just like, rah! And the lady's crying because her boyfriend, husband, or whatever is getting killed. And then Dollface is just standing there with a machete. And she just like looks at her, looks back, and then just grabs the machete and just kills Dollface. Just super easy. Just like barely an inconvenience. Just whoosh. And Dollface is like, oh, I'm dead. And you're like, what the fuck was all that backstory then? We just got a bunch of boring motel-related backstory. It's very psycho-related, this film. It's very strange. So Liv Tyler 2.0 kills Dollface. And it's like, oh shit, shit's about to get real. She's about to pull out the machete, run at Scarecrow Man, because he doesn't even know what's going on. Scarecrow Man's just having a blast, just hacking away at the corner. He has no idea that his second partner has now been killed by this lady. No. What happens instead is Liv Tyler 2.0 just kind of stands there. She's like shook up from killing this person. But instead of killing the other person, she just kind of goes, oh. Scarecrow Man looks over and then he just like, is like, I don't know, man. You get no real read from him. He doesn't even look distressed or anything. He's just kind of like, oh, I guess that happened. No real emotion. Then instead of some kind of fight, some kind of struggle, some kind of thing, he just like grabs the machete in her hand and she just kind of stands there and lets it happen. And then they both kill the other girl that was tied up there. And it's just like, what is going on? Like, what is meant to be happening? And what I think was meant to be happening is that she's killed Dollface and then like, she's got like a taste for blood and she's gone, do I maybe like this? Am I maybe a stranger too? And like, I think she's meant to be going crazy and like losing her mind in it. And so she's so in shock of the moment. And then she kills this next person and it's meant to be slowly building this insanity in her. But unfortunately, she's really not giving you that in the face. Really crazy stuff. Really unhinged nonsense that makes no sense. The character motivations and choices and everything that's going on, just like baffling. Unhinged, baffling nonsense. Kind of loved it. Kind of a pretty amazing scene. Cut to them in a car and it's just her and him and he's driving and she's just kind of like dead face zoning out and it's like, yeah, I guess she's not going to try and fight him and like get back like control. Like she could like push the car over or like attack him or like he's just like, well, I guess she's cool with me now. That's sweet. Then the next scene is he rams his car into his RV, which his dad had tracked the sister and made them go, I'm saying too many names and words. Essentially, Liv Tyler 2.0's sister and all of her friends or whatever are there in an RV. He kills all of them in front of her and she just kind of stares there and watches. And a single tear literally rolls down her face. And then he's like, I guess you can go. And he lets her go. He just walks away. Scarecrow Man killed everybody. And then he just gets in his father's car and him and his father just drive away. And then there's a scene where I can't believe it. I'm like, part of me was like, this can't actually be what happened in the movie. I must be misremembering. It's not. I'm remembering the images I just saw. So her sister has just been killed in front of her eyes, single tear down the face, all that sweet jazz. Then it cuts to her just driving away. So not only did he let her survive, but he's just letting her go. Why? Very unclear. Very unclear. I guess he thinks he's got to her. I think he's like, man, I've got her psychologically. Like, I've turned her. She's gonna be like under my thrall now. I don't know why. You just killed her sister. Even if the stuff at the motel you thought was like making her go a little crazy, doing this, like, why would she be on your side now? Like, just really strange decision making. I mean, I know he's a serial killer, but just still very strange. And so they're driving away. It's her in the car. Her dead sister's there and she's driving. There's a shotgun in the car. So he left her a gun too. Very unhinged behavior. I love it. Just nonsense. And she's driving out of town and then... Shit, I've just remembered. She's driving down to town and like the car goes down the highway and then it pans up to one of those like see you later signs and it's like, come back soon. Don't be a stranger. I lost my mind. I was like, this film's so fucking good. That's crazy. I can't believe they put that in there. Don't be a stranger. Unbelievably glorious stuff. I was almost crying in the cinema. I was just like, fuck, this is so crazy. I love this. What's going to happen next? Obviously, she's going to, as she does, stop the car. We get a shot of the highway when she's like, to my freedom. Oh, I have unfinished business. And it's very similar to the scene with Simon Pegg in Hot Fuzz, where he's like, I gotta get back to town. And then she rolls back into town. She goes into the secret cellar basement thing that she was being kept in. She was being kept in there for some stuff. I don't know. Nothing really happened. Oh no, she got a tattoo. The smiley face tattoo that he has, where it's like, is it maybe him? He's got the tattoo. And then this one's like, yeah, it's him. Who the fuck else would it be? So she's got the tattoo. And I kept thinking for a lot of this film that like, the tattoo means that he's going to try and frame her or something, like, and be like, it was actually her all along. That's how he's going to get out of it. But no, he was trying to convert her and make her a stranger. So I guess that tattoo's like an initiation tattoo. Like, you get a kill, you get a tat. Or you get the tat, then you get the kill. It doesn't matter. But it sounds like I'm going a little all over the place, but I'm tracking this as best I could. This film it was too much for me in this cinema. The experience of so much nonsensical nonsense was just, it fried my brain, which clearly takes very little. So she comes back and she climbs down the cellar thing or whatever. There's like a bunker underground or whatever. And she's like, oh, there's no one here. Oh no shit, there's music playing. And then the cop, Dad's there. And he's like, after so many flashbacks where I've been CGI'd and I love my kids and I'll do literally anything for them. I will let them murder hundreds of people. I will just say there's one rule: don't kill people in the town. But has no scene with his son in this movie that indicates that he's like, hey, you've started killing people in the town. That's not cool. Like, he vaguely says it to another cop who's like, hey, they're killing people in the town now. But his reaction isn't like, yeah, maybe we should turn my son in now. His reaction is, fuck you, other cop. Stabs the cop in the face and gets rid of the body. In broad daylight. There's a scene where 3 people watch him, like the Liv Tyler 2.0's sister and her compadre friend peoples watch the cop just carry out a body in a body bag into his car, broad daylight. And it's like, okay, so he's doing that. The cop knows. There's a lady at the diner who's like, if you want to know the truth, it's talk to the cop sheriff. He knows everything. I can't say anymore. I've said too much. Horrible, awful dialogue. Really, really fun stuff. This is becoming a little all over the place. I'm just remembering stuff as it's coming to my mind. So he's disposing of another cop in broad daylight. So like everybody knows. So like it's just every single person knows. Yet there's no real indication that like they care. They're not all psychopaths. The whole town isn't a group of psychopaths. It's not some kind of cult of serial killers. They're just like complacent. They're just like lazy. They're just like, we don't care. But it's not explored. Like, it's not like this really interesting metaphor for something and for like society, like just letting things slide. Like, it just feels really random and lazy. It's just really strange. It's just really underdeveloped and weird. So, leading back to the end, the cop's there and he's like, oh my God, you found me in my secret lair. Then she pulls a gun on him and then he goes, and he has this strange wry smile. Like he's like satisfied. Like he's like, oh, without my help, you never would have made it this far. I'm actually happy that you're going to kill me and my son. It's a really weird moment because you're like, what the fuck has been building to that reaction? Then she shoots him in the face and his dumb fucking idiot smug face just dies. And it's like, what the hell? Crazy. Then there's another scene where she walks down into this shrine for the lady that she killed at the end of 2. And there's a big shrine and the music swells. It's a really big epic orchestral score. And it's just like this moment of like, fucking hell, man. There's a lot of reverence and epic awe for like this fucking nothing, terrible character in this awful trilogy. It's a really funny moment. It's absolutely crazy. It makes me go, oh, you really thought this was like something, huh? That's quite embarrassing. But it's fun. As I said, this is the most fun I've ever had watching a half-star film. It's really, really good stuff. Then Scarecrow Man comes in and he's like, I've made you just like me. You're a stranger now, too. I don't know what that accent is. He's not doing an accent like that. I got too excited. And then she turns around and she's like, no, what? Take your mask off. And then he takes the mask off and does this real like, like look at my face. Like it's fucking really weird. Then they have a moment where he's like, I just feel like maybe we'd be really good strangers together. And she's like, absolutely not. That's insane. I'm here to kill you. And then just like heaps of awkward silence happens. They kind of both get real close. And then they just start like hugging and like touching each other. And it's really like weird, sensual. Like it's like not working, but it's meant to be this really sexual like moment. And you're like, man, they're going to like kiss and fuck. And like she's going to become the strangers. And it's really building to that, and it's crazy. It's so unearned. You know, you can see it's like what they've tried to do. She's put on the mask a bunch. She's done a couple of kills. He keeps being like, I've destroyed everything. I've taken you down to the bone, and now you're like me. You're just raw emotion or whatever. You know, just absolute nonsense, idiocy. Really bad dialogue. But you like know what they're trying to do with the dialogue, or trying to do really badly. But then she just stabs him. And he's like, oh my god, what the fuck, he stabbed me! But then he's like, kind of smiles, like his dad, and you're kind of like, so you guys wanted to lose? Like, what do you mean? Just really strange stuff. He falls down and dies, and the movie you think's gonna end, and then you're like, okay, so you were building up this whole film really poorly, really haphazardly, really messily, that she was going to become the strangers with him. Out of nowhere, unknown nonsense. But that's not what you did. Or is it? Because then she's walking to her car and like she gets out of the bunker or whatever, and she closes the hatch and she's walking to her car and it pans down to her legs and it's like, don't do it. Don't you fucking do it, movie. I'm going to lose my mind. I'm going to explode. And you see her hand and she's holding the scarecrow mask. Oh my god. Like Joseph Gordon-Levitt at the end of The Dark Knight Rises, being like, can't you wait to see the next movie with News the Scarecrow, Strangers, Lady Stranger? So it worked. He got her. He killed everyone she loves, tormented her, made her crave the kill and the blood. They did a little kiss, and now she's the stranger. And that is the chapter trilogy. Oh, yeah, just real good stuff. I had an absolute blast. It was yeah, fuck me, man. Real strange stuff. Yeah, I'd love to know what people think. Did you watch The Strangers Chapter 3? Did you also love it, or you like, what in the ever-loving fuck was that? That sucked. I'd love to know. What did you think of The Strangers Chapter 3? The conclusion! Big yays, big nays, or for the first time on the internet, a nuanced opinion.